So really, there's 3 ways to get lapidary equipment. You can buy new stuff and have it just directly shipped to your house. That usually costs a lot of money. You can get really, really lucky and something comes up that's good and used where you live in your town, or you travel. And today we're traveling for a machine. We woke up early and we left Cedar City and we're driving to Southern California because one of Al Sesona's Intarsia machines came up available on Marketplace. So I appreciate everybody that sent me that listing. You're spending my money, but I appreciate it. So now we have a nice 12-hour day driving across 4 different states to well, go pick up this Intarsia machine. It will be worth it, and that's how you get these machines. That's how I get these machines. I drove far for just about everything that I have. So those things. Oh my God, look what I got. This is Al Sesona's Intarsia machine. Totally complete. I even got the paperwork. We are back, and while 740 miles is a lot to drive in one day, it's been a little bit. I have this machine cleaned up. I did take it apart some, kind of inspected it, made sure everything with it was good, and overall that was a great experience. The person that sold it to me, it was really nice to be able to talk with her some. She showed me some of the work that she's got, that she's done, some of the rocks around her house. She has a very impressive shop. So yeah, let's look at the Intarsia grinder, and I will explain to you why we went traveled so far for it, why it's so cool. We got some paperwork here. We're going to look at all of this stuff so that there can be some good information out there about Al Sesona's Intarsia grinder. There's just something about these types of machines, you know. They're just so well executed, and we'll look at all the different bits and pieces of it. But this is one of his earlier machines. We can tell by the metal tray and the little copper valve there. Some of the later ones had a plastic tray, and it would drain through the foot, which is interesting. So let's go over the kind of the anatomy of this. We have our water cup here, which is removable. Okay, that's a removable thing. You can go fill it up, get some water in here for the machine. We got a light. We have a milled table here, which allows us to run a stone up against that. We have a tool here that we can use for taking this off. I'll show you that. It's all mounted on a base here. This guard comes off, and then we have a motor, and then we have the switch back here. Pretty simple, but the important part are all the little details. Let's get this thing plugged in here. When I got this back and I took it apart to clean it, I did change out these bolts, which holds this, like the unit, up off the tray. The washers were very old and not very rubbery anymore, so I got some new rubber washers. Make sure this thing is good and watertight. We can turn a little light on here so that you can see. Now, for pieces like this, right, it's very hard to hand hold, or you know, a piece like this is very difficult to hand hold and get a perfect 90, and that's what this table is here for primarily, and then also attachments. So that's kind of the main thing. You can, I have done these, like these I made with my flat lap with a fence on it, and that was, it does work, but if you're trying to do fine little work and it drops, well, this, it just stays put because of gravity. If you drop on a flat lap and it's, you know, flat orientation, it just whips that piece around. So there's just so much about this that I like, okay? This comes off, So we'll do a little disassembly here, I think. Get the cup out. First off, the cup is like a diner cup, like it's like a soda fountain cup with a needle valve. And then this is not stock here. This is not original, but this is a plastic piece of tubing with a piece of copper in it to get the bend. But just all the little things that Al did. So here's the lid for the cup. Okay, we have a red knob that's been painted, and the way the lid stays on is we have like a double piece of metal here. We'll turn this off, actually. We have a double piece of metal, and it's just like the little tips or edges are bent so that it stays on. Just the little touches, okay? We'll put this aside over here. But yeah, the light, obviously. And we can take this off. This is how you would clean or change the machine out. So we got some wing nuts. This is a piece of extruded aluminum that has been bent for the guard. The tool up here, so it's got like a little wooden tool holder. It's just a socket wrench, and then drilled and like epoxied in, we have a little hex key. And down here at the bottom of the machine, you can see there is a hex nut or a little bolt, and then over here the red. So we can take the Allen key portion and we can loosen that. And then you can loosen this. And this is a piece of stainless steel that's been machined. And the guard flips out of the way and it gives you access to the lap. The lap is a 180 grit Johnson's brother lap. I think, so here's a picture of it. All of this white stuff on here, I actually think I looked at it under the microscope. This lap is pretty good. There's lots of life left on it. It's the white stuff here, it's very soft. I can kind of like get it off with my fingernail. It almost seems like soapstone. It's just kind of a layer. So I'm just going to leave it and run this lap. You don't need anything more than a 180. You really don't, because we're really doing the surfaces that you would typically glue up. You know, like you're not going to see these. So for the most part, right? Obviously you're going to see that, but all these inside pieces of a piece of Intarsia or Camesso, whatever you'd like to call it, you want to be able to have a nice 90-degree glue up, and that's the benefit here. So moving right around here, you can kind of see how this thing has been assembled with some little angle brackets on the handle that has been bent. We have our on-off power switch here, which I'll unplug, but on-off power switch. And come right around. The motor is a 1.6 horsepower blower motor, which for something like this, where you're shaping your Intarsia pieces, I think is perfectly fine. You can see we have our little support brackets in there, which hold up the fence, or the little table. And it's basic. That's kind of the basics of it, right? Like, you know, there's not a lot to the actual machine, but it's just very well done. Like the tray here is one of the early ones that he was using a metal tray, and it's like galvanized metal, or, you know, sheet metal that has been rolled and folded and then soldered on all of the edges to make this little tray. On the bottom here, you can kind of see we have some rubber feet, and these bolts go all the way through with some spacers. So there's a little gap in here around the edge so that we can collect our water and channel the water away. So we can turn our little light on as if we were working. I'm probably going to change out that warm bulb for maybe a more cool or white bulb, and we can fire this up. We should be good here. Yeah, everything's nice and tight. That's basically it. A pretty simple design. So the creator of this machine, Al Sesona, recently passed away at the age of 98. So it's kind of cool to have just like the ephemera that goes along with the machine, right? So I have got his business card here, which is pretty cool. Here's a picture of the machine along with some of the written instructions. At some point, so I plan on having an Intarsia page up on the website, currentlyrockhounding.com, and at that point, all of these things will be scanned and up there. He did have some accessories. Now, if you have any of these accessories and you're willing to part with them, please hit me up. Hit me up, currentlyrockhounding@gmail.com. But we have some grinder little angle templates, which is pretty cool, so that you can attach these onto the table and produce perfect angles. So that's great. We have the mini vise for holding little tiny slivers of rock. We have this mini vise, which I might make some of these myself if need be. So there's that. There is an article here out of Lapidary Journal. Well, wait, I guess this is out of Jewelry Journal. Lapidary Journal became the jewelry artist. Lapidary Journal jewelry artist. So we have this neat article about the machine. He did produce a bunch of accessories. So I have a blueprint for the concave disc. So great. I love this. We have a blueprint for the little mini vise. This is the jump ring winder splitter attachment. I'm probably never going to need something like this, but here it is. Okay, so yeah, this is May 2008 jewelry artist had this in it, and I do have that issue, so I need to go pull that out of the Lapidary Journal archive. But he even made transfer fixtures, like a little transfer block there. And lastly, it's not anything to do with Sesona specifically, but if you're interested, I will put a link to Bill Boggs' book if you want to make some of this stuff yourself. He goes way in depth in his Stone Intarsia book on how to produce these types of pieces, which is awesome. There is also different like angle blocks, wobble blocks, indexing heads for this machine, which I do not have, but I hope to have them at some point. So in this photo, you can clearly see that the water hose coming out of the water cup is metal. It's like a metal tube. Now here we have a plastic tube that's kind of shoved into the needle valve. I do have, hello, some replacement 1/4 inch copper line, which I will be changing that out to try to keep this machine as original as possible. From what I've seen, the Highland Park Intarsia grinder is a perfectly good machine, okay? This has a second type of cool, right? Like, it's kind of like you're looking at, what is the better vehicle? You have like a classic car from the 1960s or a Toyota Camry or a Honda Civic, right? Both are cars, both can drive, but like one is just like, this is an Sesona machine. Like these will never be made again. What's out there is out there, and it's just that simple. Highland Park will probably be making their machines for a while. It would be fantastic. I would love to do like a side-by-side comparison between the Sesona machine and the Highland Park machine and run both of them for an extended period of time and be able to be like, okay, here's what I'm thinking, right? I see some pluses and minuses to both systems, so I think that'd be interesting. I don't think they're going to send me one anytime soon. The HP one, I think when all is said and done, you're like $1,200 for the 8-inch machine, which if I was going to get one, I'd want the 8-inch. And then all of the accessories, you're pushing like $1,400, $1,500. Versus I got this classic Sesona machine for $500, and then we spent $110 in gas and a day. So Still at a fraction of the price, but I love it. I love it. I gotta do some work on it. We're not really set up to do the grinding and work on it just yet, but that is coming. We'll change out some stuff, but mostly I'm gonna keep this as an original Sesona machine. I'm not gonna make much changes to it. Yeah, this is what it's like. Go out and hunt down lapidary machines. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly enjoyed it. I love these trips, long road trips with Sarah, picking up machines like this. Have a piece of lapidary history that is not a thing you can just go out and pick up. So yeah, let's have a good conversation down below in the comments about some Intarsia. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I will catch you on the next video.